All right, so let's go over the difference between free-flowing and non-free-flowing characteristics and how you can figure this out. So on the right here, you'll find non-free-flowing powders. When you insert a pen or your finger, the indentation stays. That indicates a non-free-flowing material. Whereas a free-flowing powder, you'll do the same test and it collapses on itself. So this is a free-flowing powder. All right, so today we're going to be talking about how to set up free-flow tooling. Free-flow tooling is going to come with a couple more pieces in your standard non-free-flow set of tooling. You're going to have a straight auger. It's identifiable by the stud at the bottom and also the fact that there is no larger overflight at the top. If there was overflight at the top, that's going to be classified as a non-free-flowing auger, which is a different setup from this. So this is a free-flow straight auger with the stud on the end of it. You're going to have a spinner plate, a nut for that spinner plate. You're also going to have a straight funnel, and you can identify that it's a straight funnel by the fact that there is no lip inside the end of the funnel here. So that's straight. It's going to allow the auger to come completely through the funnel. You're also going to have a collector funnel cover with a mounted clamp ring that will match the size of the straight funnel that you have. And finally, you're going to have a variation of a collector funnel. So the way this goes in, the way that I like to set it up first is I start with the straight auger. So I bring that in and that slides into a bayonet style auger shaft. I'll then take the straight funnel, slide that over the auger, tighten the thumb screws, next we'll go with the collector funnel cover. I have to get my T-handle for that real fast. So you need an Allen key or a T-handle Allen wrench. This slides up over the funnel. You want to be about 1.5 inches approximately from the end of the funnel. So tighten that down. After that, I like to set up my spinner plate, which slides onto the bottom of the stud. And then you have a reverse threaded nut. You have to keep that in mind. It's left-handed thread, so it's the opposite direction that you would think it would need to go to tighten onto the stud. So that's hand tight. For this size tooling, this is a number 40 straight setup, you're going to need a 9/16 wrench to tighten on the nut on the bottom of the spinner plate. So slide that on, spin until it's snug. Now it's not moving. That's the original, just basic setup for the free flow tooling. The thing to keep in mind is we have to adjust our spinner plate gap. And that's dependent on each product. So that gap is going to change depending on what material you're trying to run. So you can see the gap is the distance between the bottom of the funnel and the bottom of the spinner plate. So from the inside, there's an auger shaft in the center of the hopper that's mounted with a 1/2 inch bolt. So we're going to take a 1/2 inch wrench, loosen that bolt, and adjust the spinner plate gap via the slot in the auger shaft above. So, as I loosen this, you can see that it's lowered all the way down. And if I spin the auger around, you may be able to see this, that there's a small amount of the bottom flight of the straight auger protruding from the funnel. It's kind of hard to see. But as you adjust the height of the auger, you can close that off pretty far. So what we like to see is just a small amount of the auger flight hanging from the bottom, just a little bit proud from the edge of the funnel. Hold it in position, retighten the 1/2 inch bolt on the auger shaft, and now your spinner plate gap's been set. The last thing you need to do is take your collector funnel and mount that using the clips on the collector funnel cover. In the lab, we only put 2 on there to make it quick to disconnect it, but in production, you'll have 4 of these. And that is your free flow configuration. All right, so we're going to talk about setting up non-free flow tooling. As you can see, there's a lot less pieces with a non-free flow configuration than there are with a free flow configuration. You've got a self-feeding auger, which you can identify by the large overflight above this straight section of the tooling. This allows you to grab product and drag it down into the flighting. Separately from that, you've got a funnel that has a lip on it. Now, I don't know how easy that would be to see, but the straight funnel is what you have with a free flow configuration. So there's just a small little ridge here on the bottom of the funnel. What we're going to do is start with the auger, slide that inside the hopper, and engage the auger shaft. From there, we'll take our funnel, slide that up over the auger, bottom it out inside the coupling, and tighten the thumb screws. Once the thumb screws are tight, the last thing we have to do to actually set up this tooling correctly is to verify what we call the gap underneath the auger, between the auger, the last flight of the auger, and the lip of the funnel. We'd like to see about a fingernail's thickness gap underneath of there. Occasionally we'll provide a gap gauge as well, which is a tool that you could use to verify you're setting the gap properly. So what you're going to want to do is loosen the auger shaft, which there's a 1/2 inch bolt, which is a 1/2 inch wrench that will allow us to loosen and adjust the slot built into the auger shaft. This will allow us to change the height of the auger. So we loosen that, and then we'll grab the auger and the shaft and slide it up just slightly. Tighten it down. And verify underneath by being able to move the auger that you've now set a gap. Now we have to confirm the gap isn't too great, because too large of a gap you'll actually create what we call a drip. And it can cause some inaccuracies and inefficiencies with your tooling. So verify underneath that we've got about a thumbnail thickness, and we do. And your non-free flow set is now set up.